We're swinging for fun. I wanna party like it's 1941.
Hello everybody. I never know how to start off these streams. But anyways, welcome to the stream. We're back to playing some Modern Warfare, and I figured out why last time I streamed that I wasn't able to log in. Playlist update, and I had to restart the console in order to get back in. But anyways, they added Ground War into the game. They added it yesterday, and what we're gonna be playing today. We're gonna be playing some Ground War. Let's go ahead and up. Not that one. There we go. That one. That's the one. Probably want no buzzing. No. I was charging my controller. Die while. But I need to switch my headset. I'll have it in computer. You go. Alright. So first things first, I always forget to do this. Yeah, why is okay, classic. I was just making sure that was classic. Making sure. Anyways, let's go ahead and play some Ground War. Dev error 5476. Dev error 5476. I do not know what that means. Question is, will I be able to play? Why am I not gonna be able to play this? Is it like another playlist update already? I swear, if this doesn't log me in. Oh my god. Okay. Let's restart. See if that works. This sucks. This sucks. This really sucks. Well, anyways, while we're trying to figure this whole situation out, if you haven't already seen my latest video, it's how to actually play with the brand new perk in Black Ops 4 Zombies, Blaze Phase perk, early. Like right now, you can go over on the Black Ops 4 and it and experience it without having to wait for, you know, DLC to be out. Why did it say I couldn't connect to the internet? Not connect? Signed in. I did. Alright. Try. But yeah, I have a video up right now showing you how to get brand new Blaze Phase perk in the Black Ops 4 and play with it early for as long as you want. As long as you want. It's actually a pretty decent perk. They might need to change things, make it more powerful, but other than that, it's I haven't really tested it out that much besides going to round 10 with it, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Now, Modern Warfare. Let in. Let in. There we go. Okay, so I want to do a couple things real quick. I want to make a party because my friend will be joining me in a few. So we'll have to, you guys will have to hear him some way somehow because he doesn't have a computer that on Discord or anything, or doesn't have a computer at all. Go ahead and grab you guys in with your second controller. No. Sorry, but I'm gonna have to mute you guys whenever the time be. But anyways, let's get in the ground war. Hell yeah, ground war. Not seen the map. I've not seen any gameplay on it. I don't know what to expect other than it's 32v32. That is it. That is all I know. Guys, there's so many people talking. Also, level cap has increased to level 30, so now we can get everything as I suspected that we would be able to get to level 30. So everybody else will be using the higher level stuff before I get to level up. What should we do? Should we use the sniper first off, or just run in with the M4A1 or the M13? Maybe the AUG. Too bad we couldn't use we can't use the P90. The Car 98. Moss, Odin. All those will be available as soon as we get 30. Or its associated level. Let's use the M4A1. Ooh, this is like Battlefield. Oh my god. This is like ground war, or I mean, ground war is like Battlefield. Feels a little weird. Like, I don't know, the graphics look odd.
Securing C. Assist your team at Bravo. Securing Delta.
There's a tank over there. I don't want to go after. I don't want to go over there. If there's a tank, I don't want to go over to the tank.
You're losing control. Holding Delta.
Also, it's a bit laggy. I'm lagging a bit. That's not good.
We have taken the lead.
Look at that tank.
Enemy personal radar overhead. We have taken the lead. You're needed at sea.
Yeah, there's a bit of lag on
We
my.
are in command here.
That sucks.
We are in command
Yeah.
here.
Heck.
Allied UAV overhead.
Well, this is the main building that everybody's camping on. Guessing.
Allied missile strike income. We're taking shots. We are in command here.
What was that lag? Oh, I'm not even gonna deal with that.
Captured Charlie. Command is ours. Maintain pressure. Allied IAV dropping in. Allied UAV overhead. Allied UAV overhead.
Well, that sucks. Look at this guy. Look at these guys.
Allied cruise
Jeez,
missile
man.
launched.
There is a bit of lag, though. It's not feeling too great.
Allied counter
Oh,
UAV
there's a
activated.
refill ammo pack. In the map. That's... Nah, man.
Allied UAV overhead.
Nah, man.
Allied cruise missile launched. Enemy personal radar overhead. Allied UAV overhead.
Is there a way I can destroy it with the pistol? That'd be pretty sweet if
Enemy
you
UAV
could.
overhead. Enemy chopper gunner on approach. Enemy personal radar overhead.
Yeah, you can definitely feel some lag.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Well, I don't think I'm gonna be able to play Ground War that much. If it's gonna be lagging this much. Or causing my internet to lag. You motherfucker.
Allied chopper gunner. Enemy UAV overhead.
Well, now I see why I'm not gonna be able to play this that much.
Enemy UAV overhead. Allied UAV overhead.
Wow. That was awful.
Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy UAV overhead.
Where? Oh my god. Look at this guy.
Allied
Why do people have to fucking play
Allied
like
UAV
that?
overhead.
Like,
Allied
come
IAV
on.
dropping in.
Really?
Allied UAV overhead. Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy precision airstrike. Get down.
No way.
Allied chopper gunner arriving now.
Oh, he's dead. There's somebody else though.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Imagine.
Allied UAV overhead.
Imagine being able to hit that.
Capture Delta. Allied cruise missile launched.
Of course, let's see how many of them actually got close. Yeah, okay.
Allied UAV overhead.
Well,
Allied precision.
can I
Allied
please
chopper gunner arriving
kill
now.
them? Kill them? So I can spawn on you, dude.
Enemy personal radar overhead.
Thank you. Okay, let's try this. I'm gonna go around and I'm gonna
They've reached the halfway point. Enemy UAV overhead.
on.
Allied UAV overhead.
Get a hit marker. Really?
Enemy support helo in the air. Enemy chopper gunner on approach.
They're not even up there anymore.
Friendly Wilson on station.
I love how this is the first match I play and we're like
Allied IA.
my
Enemy
team
UAV overhead.
not doing like anything that bad. My god, I swear this lag actually killing me. Ha!
Bravo secure.
Suck it, dude. Suck it.
Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy cruise missile. Take cover.
Tank's just
Allied IAV
camping,
dropping
dude.
in. Allied UAV overhead. Allied UAV overhead. Enemy cruise missile.
What?
Take cover. Enemy UAV overhead. Allied UAV overhead. Enemy cruise missile. Take cover.
Dude, this guy.
Enemy precision airstrike. Get down.
Great. Isn't this fun?
Allied UAV overhead. Enemy UAV overhead. We're taking Alpha. Allied UAV overhead. Allied IAV. Allied cruise missile launched. Allied chopper gunner arriving now. Enemy cruise missile, take cover.
Yeah.
Losing Bravo.
This is some good lag.
Securing A. UAV is ready for flyover. Cruise missile ready to launch. Allied UAV
This
overhead.
is some really bad lag right now.
Need backup at Echo. We lost Bravo. Holding Alpha. Allied support kilo is
I
down.
don't know how I hit that.
On Charlie, stand by.
And then rocket launcher, because those things are OP.
Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy has Echo. That's Bravo. Allied IAV dropping in. Losing Alpha. Allied UAV overhead.
Where are these guys? Like, where did this guy come from?
Lost Alpha. Enemy UAV overhead. Falcon 3-0. Good copy. UAV. Securing Echo. Chopper gunner on approach. We're holding Echo. Allied UAV overhead. Enemy UAV overhead. UAV is out. Returning to resupply.
Oh, that's bullshit.
Enemy
We
UAV
really
overhead.
traded? Come on.
Allied UAV overhead. Allied precision airstrike incoming. Beware. Enemy VTOL at AO. Enemy UAV overhead. That's a kill.
Like, really, dude? Really going for that?
Enemy UAV overhead. Allied IAV dropping in. Allied support kilo inbound.
I swear, if I would have lost that because of the lag.
Enemy Allied enemy personal radar overhead. Enemy UAV overhead.
Where? What? What?
Enemy personal radar overhead.
I got shot through the wall. I got shot through the ceiling. Through the ceiling!
Assist your team at sea. Allied IAV dropping in. Allies received airstrike incoming. We lost Charlie. Allied UAV overhead.
Oh my god, these guys are fucking dumb. Jesus Christ.
We're holding Alpha. Enemy personal radar overhead. Enemy UAV overhead.
At least we somewhat caught up, like...
Enemy Delta,
Oh, that's...
go.
Wait. Yeah, at least we somewhat caught up. That's the good... That's the...
We're falling behind.
But D is being taken.
Securing B. Enemy has Delta. Enemy UAV overhead. Allied IAV dropping in. UAV down. Allied precision airstrike incoming.
Look
Beware.
at this lag! Oh my god!
Abort mission. Regroup.
That is so impossible to play. Let's get an invite.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm in the middle of a match right now.
Yeah, I was too.
Oh shit. I want to skip this.
So, the player level has increased to level 30 now.
So I'm excited.
And Ground
And
War.
I just died.
Ground War, it feels like Battlefield.
Oh really?
Yeah. Like the map size, and you get to have tanks, and you get to ride a quad, and... But it's, at least for me, the first match that I played is a lot laggier. I'd hope.
Oh god. Okay. That guy was camping. I was gonna join you actually. I got a Snapchat. Oh, I gotta accept your invite. So, did you ever see the picture I sent you?
Yes.
Do you hate me now?
No. We're playing the game.
No, like, no. I was just like, oh god, he's gonna be a little bit irritated that I did all of them without him.
I'll just have to do it. Not like it's gonna take that long if you completed it that quickly.
Yeah, the last one I have is deal fall damage, and I might have to go into solos or duos with you to knock someone down or something.
Off of like a build battle or something.
Yeah, because it's impossible in Team Rumble. So,
Well, you could. If you see a teammate going up with another person, you could knock them both down.
yeah. Also, the Gotham challenges
Yeah.
are super easy. I already finished those.
I'm tempted to buy Batman's.
I want to, but this is, I don't know.
Friendly UAV overhead. Friendly VTOL on station for Overwatch.
Whoa, what the heck? The map was just all like
Capture objectives and kill your
blank
enemies.
polygons for a moment.
Oh my god. I don't even know where anyone is.
Just everywhere. That's think it that way. They're everywhere.
Be advised, friendly precision.
I'm spawning on you.
Enemy counter UAV online.
Also, if you jump from a high place, you can deploy a chute so that you don't take fall damage like in Battlefield.
Friendly UAV
Like they've taken a
overhead.
lot of inspiration with this this new ground war mode for Battlefield.
Enemy personal radar in the air.
I enjoy very much.
I hear someone around me and
Also, there's like
We're taking Delta. Enemy
like mountainsides that snipers sit on, and there's normally like 4 or 5 of them in a single match to just sit up there with snipers sniping at people. So just FYI, if you get sniped and you don't know where from, it's probably from. And the only way to get them is from either climbing up there yourself or sniping them.
yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna get any kills when I don't know where any of my teammates are.
Well, if you look on the map, all the blue and green are your teammates.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Ah, I'm being shot at. I'm trying to follow you. I'm up above you. That was really weird.
Well, so far this match feels a lot less laggy.
Hostiles have Alpha.
Yep, I died. Yeah, from the mountainside.
Yeah.
Friendly IAV dropping in. That's your team at B.
Oh, you see.
Friendly IAV dropping in.
Maybe
Friendly
that's a
UAV
team.
overhead. Hostiles at Bravo. Friendly VTOL on station for Overwatch. Enemy cruise missile incoming. Take cover.
I need a sniper.
Yeah.
We're on Bravo. Stand by. Friendly UAV overhead. Bravo secure. Be advised. Enemy personal radar in the air.
I have a tank right next to me.
Got a UAV on station.
Like
Ready for
enemy
fire.
tank?
Yeah.
We're on Alpha. Stand by.
Rip.
Fine.
Change my load.
Cruise missile close to launch. Need backup at Delta. Enemy personal radar in the air.
Hey.
This is Jaguar 3-0. Solid copy. UAV beginning flyover.
I'm just gonna camp up. Oh fuck, oh fuck.
Signal lost.
There's a
UAV
sniper
down.
right there.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't
Allied
even a
cruise missile
sniper.
away.
Wow.
This is Jaguar 3-0. Missile away.
I got one of them that was trying to go up there.
Securing Alpha.
Oh, there's
Your
someone
boy
trying to come in.
Jim, hey man,
UAV
what's up?
overhead.
How you enjoying the beta? Someone was starting to head up there, and I killed him to get all the way up.
Be advised, friendly precision airstrike
Nope,
inbound.
there's a. Oh my god. Oh shit, yeah, he got me a little bit.
Got Alpha.
Come on.
Need backup at Delta.
You liking it? That's good. That's great, man.
Come on, poke your head out, dude.
This is the first time I've played Ground War, and it honestly feels so much like Battlefield.
Enemy personal radar
Like
in
it's
the air.
crazy. Oh my god! I just spawned right next to an enemy tank. There's also a guy in the very back of their spawn that was camping.
Days ours. Report for debrief.
Oh, we win. Yes, sir.
The guy with the highest amount of kills had 31 kills on our team. And the enemy team, the highest was 42.
42?
42.
Jesus.
I think I'm gonna try and use the AUG time. But I haven't leveled it up very much.
Oh shit. Can you leave the lobby real quick? I have
Yep.
to edit, thank you. Edit loadouts. I'm just gonna... Puzzle. Perfect.
But I have good class setup. I'm not gonna change them.
That's weapon swap and rocket launcher reload speed. Spawn with an extra piece of leak.
Oh yeah, rocket
Yes.
launchers are kind of really good. They're kind of like really good. You can get quad feeds with them.
Oh yeah, I'm good. I don't really use.
I never use a rocket launcher unless it's going for a camo.
Oh shit! You kicked me out of my
Oh,
loadout. I'm not done, man. Oh wait, no. I'm gonna do this and do this. I'll let you know when I'm completely finished.
alright.
Muzzle? No, no. Do that.
At level 25, we can use or
D4?
yeah, at level 28, we can use the proximity mine, the Odin.
Okay, I think I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. We are good here. Oh, did you notice I changed my clan tag too?
No,
What?
I haven't noticed.
Well, surprise!
Oh, no.
And of course my game closed me out. Not this one, but my phone game. Yeah, it's irritating.
So I figured out why I was having troubles trying to log into.
Why?
It was a playlist update. I had to completely restart the PlayStation in order to have it work. Some people say that they just have to close app for it to work, and others say that they have to actually close PlayStation, restart it. So, yeah, I am the lucky person.
I think I'm just gonna stick with you.
Sorry.
Probably. That would probably be best, though. So that way, back up.
Oh my god, everybody was in T poses.
Was in T poses?
Yeah, everybody was in a T pose. Looked funny.
Capture objectives and kill your enemies.
Holy shit, that's... Are you going up here?
Yeah. I'm gonna be that person up on the map.
Securing
Quarry
Alpha.
side.
Need backup, Delta. Alpha secure. Losing charge.
Yeah, there's someone
I just
right
got
up here
killed
with
by a
us.
helicopter. I didn't know you could fly helicopters.
Hostiles at Delta.
Is he still up there?
Charlie.
Yeah.
Yeah, you apparently can fly helicopters, and a guy just landed on me. I didn't even see him.
Bravo. Reloading.
Yeah, I saw the helicopter, like, land, and I was like, huh. I wonder
Yeah.
if I died.
Yeah, no, the helicopter killed me.
We're on Bravo. Stand by.
Okay, we'll do
And now there's a tank with a person behind it. Okay, well, looks like we're not going up there, because they're just gonna be sitting in
We're taking
the
charge.
tank. Great.
Well, I'm gonna snipe them.
Need
Oh my
backup,
god, I'm
Bravo.
lagging.
Yeah, same.
We've lost Bravo. Charlie secure.
They're trying to come in behind us.
Oh.
Oh, shit!
I just got a hit marker on a guy.
UAV dropping in.
I just got a kill with a grenade that I randomly just threw up there.
Nice. Okay, killed him.
Oh my god, I just got blinded. Are you kidding me? You fucking faggots.
UAV overhead.
Now that is a word that you don't say wrong.
Oh. Oh crap.
Enemy personal
My
radar
Yeah,
in the
there
air.
are two words, the N word and the F word. Well, the particular F word. And those can actually get a channel strike.
Friendly
Sadly enough.
VTOL on station for Overwatch.
Oh really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Friendly UAV overhead.
I mean, you freaking idiots. That's what I meant.
Well, you can say fuck. Not the other one.
What?
Enemy UAV overhead. UAV down. Friendly UAV overhead.
Come on, how is that not a kill?
Oh hey, we can go up there now.
Friendly UAV overhead. Enemy UAV overhead.
Dude, I didn't know you could shoot through that post. What?
Allied
The
cruise
more
missile
you
away.
know.
Enemy personal radar in the air. You're needed at Charlie. Enemy UAV overhead. Allied cruise missile away. Reloading. UAV down. We've lost Charlie. Friendly UAV overhead. Reloading. Friendly UAV overhead.
Oh
my God. I literally. So annoying. Oh, that's a team. Wow.
Securing B.
That didn't appear above his head. Cool.
Enemy VTOL in the AO.
That's also a team.
Securing Charlie. Friendly UAV overhead.
I literally cannot tell who's an enemy or who isn't.
Where is everyone?
I don't know. Probably inside buildings.
Enemy UAV overhead. Allied cruise missile away. We're on Delta, stand by. Friendly UAV overhead.
I just got sniped at from somewhere.
Are you watching the kill cam?
Yeah, I watched the kill cam. He's on the cliffside.
Where?
By the truck.
By the
On the far right.
Allied cruise missile
Like
away.
directly to your right. Might have died.
Probably.
Friendly VTOL on station for Overwatch. Securing B. Friendly UAV overhead.
We are losing by so much.
Enemies halfway there, stress it up. We're holding Bravo.
Okay.
Enemy UAV overhead.
I need that sniper.
Friendly VTOL on station for Overwatch. Enemy personal radar in the air. Cruise missile incoming, take cover.
Oh, what? How did he kill me? Okay, he can shoot the wood.
Friendly support helo inbound.
And I spawn in and immediately die. No one gonna
Enemy
go
UAV overhead.
try and recapture me. I literally got sniped at by like 4 different places.
Okay.
Where's the guy?
Allied cruise
Jeez.
missile away. You're needed at A.
Where the hell is he?
We've lost Bravo.
He's 255. 255. I don't know how to get him. Like, I'm shooting directly on him, and it's not even, like, hitting.
AAV dropping in.
What?
It's not hitting him. Like, I'm shooting him, and it's not hitting.
Yeah, it was the same for me.
Friendly UAV overhead.
Okay, now I hit him. Oh no, that was a different guy. The guy headshot
Enemy
sniped me.
personal radar in the air.
How the fuck are you supposed to hit him? Like, you
I know where they are
can't.
now.
Like, you actually can't hit. I hit one of them, but it wasn't the guy that was sniping at us. It was another guy. Like, is there bullet drop off in this? I don't know.
I think there might be.
Enemy personal radar in the air.
Oh my god. I can't. Like, these guys, like,
Enemy personal radar in the air. We're on Echo, stand by. Enemy UAV friendly UAV overhead. We're taking Bravo. Friendly IAV dropping in. We're holding Bravo. Allied cruise missile away.
I am having so much trouble trying to snipe this guy. Like, my bullets are not hitting where they should be.
Friendly UAV overhead.
And then I'm getting sniped at from somewhere else.
Be advised, friendly precision airstrike inbound.
Dude, out of here.
Friendly IAV dropping in. Enemy UAV overhead. Reloading. We've lost Bravo. Enemy precision airstrike. Take cover.
Aha. Bitch.
Friendly UAV overhead.
Wow. I shoot the guy multiple times, and it doesn't even connect with him, and then the guy's able to...
Friendly VTOL on station
What the
for Overwatch.
fuck, man?
Fucking piece of crap.
Hostiles at Delta.
It's so hard not.
Uh-huh.
Enemy VTOL in the AO. Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy personal radar in the air.
Yeah, we lost.
Pull back,
Definitely.
soldier. Fight another day.
That, I would say, wasn't our fault that we lost. Bullets were not connecting. Bullets were literally not connecting to the people.
No. Oh dang.
What I did was the guy was just laying down, and I just aimed at the one spot while he was laying there and shot 3 times in a row in the exact same spot, and only one of those shots hit him.
Yeah, I was aiming with my sniper on those guys on top of the building.
Yeah.
Didn't hit a single one.
Connection issues
So
in
I'm gonna
ground
be right
war.
back.
Alright.
No.
Yeah, connection issues are definitely like really bad in Ground War. Or in this game in general. Like if you went over the Noah J's Twitter, you would have seen a clip of him just shooting a guy point blank, and none of the bullets hit until he literally went through 2 mags, and then it finally hit. Like really, I don't think that's how it's supposed to work. Like, I mean, come on, I don't think that's how it's supposed to.
Oh yeah, and I also don't have my date tonight, so
Oh,
I'm on.
yeah.
They decided, yeah, I'm not gonna respond to them, and then, oh, and then later on, Tom, oh yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it. Just tell me, like, in that moment. Don't, like, wait it off. Like,
Oh,
I don't really feel like saying it, you know?
oh.
I know that this world is made of sugar and rainbows and butterflies, so give it to me straight. I am almost level 2 with the sniper.
Whoops.
Right.
What level am I? Oh, that's right. My sniper level is down. I think I'm max sniper level, but it's glitched out a level.
Ich bin Ausländerin, spreche nicht Deutsch.
I'm pretty sure I'm max.
Well, do you have all the
Yeah,
parts you can
I
equip
have
to it?
everything.
Yeah, so you're maxed out. I might have to see if I can get another sniper though. Yeah, what other snipers?
The only sniper.
Oh wow. Wow. Okay. So I really want the Dragunov, but nope. Or the
Dragunov.
HDR.
Dragunov unavailable.
Tisk, tisk.
Yep.
I am ready whenever you are.
Okay. Let us go get killed by many other people. A higher level than us.
Yay! Yay!
Ah. So in the next level, I'm gonna be unlocking stopping power round. So we'll have extra damage bullets whenever I put down base ammo crate.
Oh, thank God, thank God, thank God. I mean, I have a barrier I could put down, but I don't really use it.
Yeah, then change your field upgrade to a munitions box.
Ammunitions box.
Munitions.
Давай. До свидания. That means goodbye.
Bum, bum. Have you changed your hit marker sound?
No. You can do that?
Yeah, you can change your hit marker sound to the classic Call of Duty.
Is that in settings?
Yeah, it's in audio settings. I'm gonna use the AUG for a bit.
Press some more
Try and get that leveled up.
options.
Round 1. Capture objective and kill your enemies.
There's so many places you can go on this map. Crazy.
Oh.
Capture Echo.
Reloading.
We're taking Delta.
Or player.
Losing Charlie. You're needed
Enemy's
at B.
taking Charlie.
We're holding Delta. We lost B. You're needed at C.
Okay, I got shot at even though I wasn't in line of fire.
Enemy UAV overhead. We're taking Bravo.
Oh no, oh god.
Nice, I got sniped at. There's already people up above sniping.
Personal radar overhead. We have
Yeah.
lost the lead. Bravo
There's a
secure.
person down below that kill.
Need backup at Echo.
What is this
Securing Alpha.
place? Oh my
We
god.
have taken control. Enemy is Delta, go.
I am so sorry, dude. This is... Wow.
Wait, is there enemy
Enemy
fire?
UAV overhead.
Enemy's
Allied
taking
IAV.
fire?
There's the people above us. Well, now below. There's a guy.
Enemy at Echo, go.
Oh no, there's a guy above us.
Yeah.
Enemy at Delta, go.
Where is he?
And the guy blew. He's broken.
Oh my god.
And I spawned and I got killed.
Oh, they're taking B.
Enemy
They
has
took
Delta.
D.
You're needed at Bravo.
Taking me.
Enemy position airstrike. Get out. Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy at Echo, go. Allied UAV overhead. Lost Bravo. Enemy personal radar overhead.
Oh my god, just stop pushing me away. Get out of the way.
Have lost the lead. Allied UAV overhead.
And the guy had a shotgun. Guy with a shotgun camping in the corner of the
Taking
map.
Delta.
Building. Hell yeah.
Allied precision airstrike incoming. Beware. Allied IAV overhead. Securing Charlie. Enemy Wilson deployed. Enemy VTOL in the AO.
Oh my god. Is there another guy up there?
Allied UAV overhead.
That should have despawned. That claymore should have despawned.
We're out, Charlie. Stand by. Enemy UAV overhead. Stand by. Allied IAV dropping in. UAV is ready for flyover. Enemy UAV
I don't know
overhead.
where anyone is.
Securing
Oh, I
Charlie.
just killed like 5 of them.
Missile ready to launch.
I am low on health.
I am sending cruise missile.
Enemy VTOL in the AO. Enemy cruise missile. Take cover. Securing C.
I just killed 2 people that were sitting on top of the building that where you were sniping at. I just killed 2 people from over there.
counter UAV.
Oh.
Lost radar. Returning to resupply. Enemy chopper gun on approach. Enemy cruise missile, take cover.
I stunned some people from.
Enemy UAV overhead. Allied UAV overhead. Overhead.
Oh my god, how am I still here?
Hey, I got my weapon ranked up.
Enemies taking echo. Allied UAV overhead. Enemy VTOL
Nice.
in the AO. Take cover. Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy has echo. Enemy has delta.
Nope, I'm out.
Enemy cruise missile, take cover.
Damn it.
You just died from that.
Well, anyways, I have a support heli now, so
What?
I have a support heli now.
There you do.
Yep. I was holding my
Tell the guy
ground
that killed
for so long.
Allied UAV
I'm
overhead.
honestly surprised that I managed to get that many
I
kills.
don't want to get shot at.
We captured Alpha.
My god, the helicopter is doing some work.
Captured Delta.
Yo.
Allied
I just,
IAV
like,
traffic.
Took out
Enemy precision
two-
airstrike.
Oh,
Get
God.
down.
Yeah, I just died.
Assist your TFB. Enemy at Delta. Go. They've reached the halfway point. Get one exposed. Engaging. Allied IAV traffic in. Enemy personal radar
I'm
overhead.
capturing C.
God damn it.
I'm not capturing C because there's still lots of people sitting in the building.
Enemy at Delta, go! Enemies taking Alpha.
There's a guy at D. There's a guy camping in the corner at D.
Enemy VTOL in the AO.
Really?
Yeah, they're capturing it. Oh my god, I just got sniped. Oh my god, I got sniped again.
Oh shit. Ow.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Oh, someone down below.
You're needed at Alpha.
Are you joking? I swear the hitbox disappears whenever the people fucking lay down. Like the hitbox just completely disappears.
Need backup at the top. Enemy personal radar overhead. We're taking Delta. Securing Echo. Enemy cruise missile, take cover. We lost Delta. We've got Delta. Enemy Wilson deployed.
Oh no, Wilson was deployed.
Wilson.
Wilson.
What's
Bad.
Enemy cruise missile, take cover.
Ah! Okay. I just got killed by Wilson.
We're on Echo, stand by.
Bad. It's a vehicle that will automatically shoot at you and shoot missiles at you.
Alpha secure.
Wilson is
I
here!
see Wilson. I see Wilson. What? I got so many shots on that dude, and he gets one
We're
shot and I
taking Charlie.
die.
Wilson.
Enemy UAV overhead.
The power of
UAV is
Wilson.
ready for flyover. Allied UAV overhead. This is Falcon 3-0. Good copy. UAV beginning flyover.
I spawned on
Enemy
you.
at Delta, go! Enemy UAV overhead. Captured Charlie.
Nice, he was captured.
Allied UAV overhead.
Who's
Allied
captured?
IAV dropping in. Enemy chopper gunner on approach. UAV is out. Returning to resupply. We lost Delta.
Shit.
Enemy UAV overhead. Reloading.
Oh, there's another guy. There's another guy in there.
Whoa, ho, ho.
Reloading. UAV overhead. Allied UAV overhead.
What?
Okay. Well, we're losing. But they've literally captured like every single other area.
Allied UAV overhead.
We need to cap C.
Enemy cruise missile. Take cover.
You keep going now.
I mean E, not C. Jesus,
Enemy
E.
VTOL in the AO. We're taking Echo. Assist your team at A. Enemy cruise missile. Take cover.
I'm dead. Oh my god, that was the biggest lag spike ever.
Lost A. Captured Echo. Allied UAV overhead.
Where am I being
Enemy
shot?
support kilo in the air.
that's it.
We need to get
Enemy
D.
UAV overhead.
Now.
Enemy personal radar overhead. Need backup at Echo.
There are
UAV
4
is
people
ready
that
for
just
flyover.
spawned at D.
Allied IAV. Enemy cruise missile. Take cover.
Dude, they took back E already.
Good copy. We lost Echo.
Yep, I'll look out.
Enemy UAV overhead. We're taking Delta.
This is starting to be stupid.
Of course he fucking hip fires one burst me?
What the
Oh
fuck?
my god.
Returning to resupply. Allied cruise missile launched. Enemy UAV overhead.
Of course. Same guy literally killed me again.
Allied UAV overhead. Enemy cruise missile. Take cover.
I literally spawned right next to like 4
Enemy
people.
UAV overhead.
Like 4
taking
enemies.
Charlie. Allied IAV dropping in. We're falling behind. Regroup.
Yeah, we're losing. Oh, what's going on?
We lost C. Allied
This is
UAV overhead.
impossible to play.
Echo,
What the
stand by.
fuck?
Enemy UAV overhead. Allied cruise missile launched. Enough
I
of
swear
this.
we get
Fall
teamed
back.
up with the
We will
people that
return.
don't want to cap the objective.
Yeah.
Well, Hog is now level 11 from 1 match. It started at level 1, it went up 11 levels.
Do I have the AUG yet?
Good.
Is it SMGs? Nope, I don't have it. Unlocked at level 19.
Oh, what level are you?
15.
Yeah.
Oh, it says that you're not in my lobby. Why? Oh, wait, never mind.
Cause
Canadian Ninja 11, who Joe? Oh god.
oh my god, it's been an hour and a half. Almost hour and a half.
Since I joined?
Yeah.
Holy, really?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah! It's 10 minutes to an hour and a half since you joined.
No.
That went by extremely quick. Jeez. Oh, no wonder why. Each match is 20 minutes long.
Oh, ha.
That's
So
why.
it's kind of like Fortnite duos.
Yeah.
Securing Alpha.
Or when nobody gets any kills and Team Rumble goes on forever.
Alpha secure.
Yeah. I actually did that a couple times and I was able to get my storm.
Yeah.
Center of storm.
I'm going for C, by the way.
Securing Delta.
We'll
Securing
take him
B.
Delta.
Securing
Securing
Charlie.
Bravo. Securing Charlie.
Need backup at Delta. Bravo secure. Got control.
Gotta reload.
Captain Charlie. Hostiles at Delta. Go.
Are you
Hostiles at
joking?
Delta.
Yes.
What? The guy wasn't even shooting at me. The guy was shooting next to me, and somehow those hit. Those, they're hitting shots like that.
Friendly
Dude
enemy UAV overhead.
got next to me.
Holding it.
Ha ha ha!
Friendly AAV dropping in. Hostiles are taking Bravo. Friendly UAV overhead. Friendly AAV dropping in. We've lost Bravo.
Ooh,
Enemy
shot
UAV
you,
overhead.
bitch.
I'm out. Oh no! Where was I getting shot at from? Oh, that guy shot me? Looked like he was looking at me.
Parachute. I need ammo.
Need ammo? Well, I can.
Got Bravo.
Shot the top guy out of the tank thing.
Oh god, I'm laughing. Okay, I think it should be good now.
Friendly UAV overhead.
I only have 14 bullets.
Nope, I'm
We're
lagging
taking
again.
Delta.
Oh. Well, I have full ammo now.
Friendly UAV up. Enemy cruise missile incoming. Quick cover.
Son of a bitch.
We're on Delta. Stand by.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Oh my god, I hate the I hate that you can trade in this
Hostiles
game.
at Alpha. Go.
I hate it so much.
Friendly UAV overhead. Hello,
Oh
overhead.
my god, we traded again.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Isn't that supposed to be like a rare thing in this game? Being able to trade? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. I just traded 2 times in a row with an enemy.
There's no battles near me.
Enemy UAV overhead. Allied cruise
There's a
missile
guy
away.
sitting in the back of their spawn sniper.
Not
Friendly
for long.
UAV overhead.
Precisely.
Setting Claymore. Friendly chopper gunner on Overwatch.
I just got a double hit marker with the deagle.
Oh, I see him. Sniper.
Allied cruise missile away. Friendly
What?
UAV overhead.
Oh. I guess it's not really a what.
Be advised, friendly precision airstrike inbound.
An enemy?
Friendly UAV
Ah, it is.
overhead.
Come on.
We're halfway there, keep fighting. We're on Echo, stand by.
Oh, God.
Hostiles at Delta, go.
I want to go in.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Fuck.
Friendly IAV dropping in.
Did everybody die here? Died.
Friendly UAV overhead. Need backup at Charlie. Reloading. Allied cruise missile away. Be advised, friendly precision airstrike inbound. Friendly UAV overhead.
Oh my God.
Losing B.
Oh shit, okay.
What? Oh my God, they need to fix the hip fires
Friendly
so
UAV
bad.
overhead. Securing Charlie.
Jesus Christ, man. This guy just hip fired me with an AK, like, and I was aiming directly on him and he hit more shots with the damn hip fire.
Securing Charlie.
Nice.
Friendly VTOL on station for Overwatch. Friendly IAV dropping in. We're on Echo, stand by. Friendly UAV overhead. Securing drive.
Dude, this guy just fucking two-shotted me. Oh my God, he has the Odin. That's why.
Echo. Lost A. Captured Bravo. Allied cruise missile away. Friendly AAV dropping in.
Weapon rank up.
Enemy UAV overhead. Losing B. Friendly UAV overhead. Alpha secure. Friendly UAV overhead. Reloading.
Jesus, you're having a sniper battle with those guys, aren't you?
Nope. I'm mostly winning.
Yeah, I hit a few shots on them as well with my AUG. They're not very good snipers.
No,
Enemy counter UAV online.
I'm gonna try and rush
I'm
them.
not a good sniper myself. Oh shit. Someone, I saw someone. Oh yep, yep.
Friendly Wilson on station. Beginning. We've got a UAV on station. Ready for flyover.
Oh my god, there was like 4 of them running the left side of where you're at. On the building over there.
Oh shit.
Securing Bravo. Target bomb. Hit it. Be advised. Friendly position. Jaguar. Missile away.
I killed them, by the way.
Captain Bravo.
Yeah. They were just gonna sit back there until either you killed them or somebody else killed them. And they'll probably still sit that back there because they're spawning over there.
Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy personal radar in the air. Taking echo. Be advised. Friendly precision strike inbound.
Oh my god.
Enemy personal radar in the air. Securing C. Hostiles are taking Delta.
A lot.
Hostiles at Delta. We've got a UAV on station. Enemy personal radar in the air. Jaguar 3-0. Solid copy. UAV beginning flyover. Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy cruise missile incoming. Take cover.
Suckers. I was like right up near them and just trying keeping them off.
I got 6 kills and 4 deaths.
17 kills and 7 deaths. Got that 7 right there. Hey, I unlocked Wilson.
Oh. I'm gonna change my field upgrade.
He's a 7.
That.
Oh my god, he's a 7 kill streak.
Flashcard.
I'm gonna try stopping power out. That goes.
Ow.
Just adding a suppressor to my AUG.
I want to get my AUG, but it's not for 3 more fucking levels.
Yeah, you'll get it.
Tata vai querer saber como vai vir o susto, vale nale.
Everybody's in
Holy
T-poses
dear.
again.
What?
Everybody was in T-poses again.
It took me a second.
Capture objectives and kill your enemies.
Okay.
I'm gonna go around and try and see if I can flank the people that are coming, like, flank us.
So it's a double flank.
Yes.
Alpha secure.
So it's a double positive, which makes it a better positive. Oh no, it's a positive and a negative, which evens it out.
Positive positive makes a negative positive makes a positive, and a negative negative makes a positive.
Need backup at Delta.
A negative positive makes a negative.
Does it?
We're holding Bravo.
Well, I just killed someone who flanked, so
Taking the lead.
yeah,
Hostiles
okay, it's
at
working
Delta.
out pretty good. Oh no, and then there's 2 more. There's 2 more that went over there.
We've lost Charlie.
Wow.
You've
Don't
lost the
worry,
lead,
I'm
soldier.
here waiting for him. Nothing but the Clio boy.
Oh my
Hostiles at
god.
Bravo, go. Securing
I just got on the
Charlie.
ATV and started using it, and I got flung into the air.
Enemy personal radar in the air.
I don't know where the ones that you are.
We've lost Charlie. Losing B.
I'm on the left side of C. Coming from our spawn.
We've lost Bravo.
What? Can't jump into the window? Oh my god, that's dumb.
Enemy UAV. Friendly UAV overhead. Enemy personal radar in the air. Be advised, friendly precision airstrike inbound. Reloading. Friendly UAV overhead. Throwing stun. Throwing stun. Enemy UAV overhead.
Oh my god, I just punched that guy to death. Hey, look at Og.
Oh wait, what? No, I didn't want to drop that.
Allied cruise missile away. Friendly VTOL on station for Overwatch. Friendly UAV overhead. We're on Delta, stand by.
Oh my god.
Friendly UAV overhead.
Is there anyone I eat?
Be advised, friendly precision airstrike inbound. We've got a UAV on station. Enemy personal radar in the air.
Yeah, there's a few people outside.
Friendly counter UAV active. We're taking Bravo.
I think he might be dead. Oh,
We're
he's not
holding
dead.
Delta. Missile, go for launch. Reloading. Got Bravo. Reloading. Enemy UAV overhead. Friendly UAV overhead. Reloading. Hostiles at Delta. Target up.
Cruise missile.
Jaguar 2-0. Missile away.
Oh my god, there are so many people on the hill.
Friendly UAV overhead.
There are 4 people on the hill and I only killed 2 of them because they're like spread out.
Enemy personal radar in the air. Friendly support helo inbound. Friendly IAV dropping in. Request recon flyover. This is Jaguar 3-0. Solid copy. UAV beginning flyover.
Yeah, you saw the guy I was shooting at.
Enemy personal radar in the air. Hostiles at Bravo, go.
Nice.
Reloading. Setting Claymore. We've lost B. Friendly UAV overhead.
Here's some stopping power rounds.
You are down.
Oh wait. Oh, it's only. Oh damn. I didn't realize that. Ah, I just killed him.
Oh my.
Be advised, friendly precision airstrike inbound.
Was it the guy that I killed, or was it something farther back?
Enemy UAV overhead.
I need one more kill.
Hold ahead.
I literally need one more kill, and then I'll have a support heli.
Oh shit, oh shit.
Friendly VTOL on station for Overwatch. We're losing ground, stepping up.
No.
Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy counter UAV online. Enemy personal radar in the air.
I thought I saw him.
Grenade out! Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy personal radar in the air.
Well, that's you.
Reloading! Grenade out!
Scary. Scared me.
We're taking
Where's right
Bravo. We're on Echo, stand by. Be advised, friendly precision airstrike inbound. Friendly UAV overhead. Captured Bravo.
I think he's watching the Aqua, I'm not sure.
Oh, he's. Our teammate just killed him.
Friendly VTOL on station for enemy cruise missile incoming.
No, no,
What?
no! Oh my.
What error?
The game crashed. Spooking.
Pretty sure that happened with everyone else too, if that happened to us.
Probably. Come on. Come on!
I can't even do anything.
Yeah,
on
no,
my
you
PS4.
have to wait for the bar to fill up and
Well, I'm gonna go use the restroom on that note.
yeah, same. Yeah, we're gonna be back. That sucks that it crashed. It happens. Alright, I am back. That's
Hello.
hello.
No, I'm gonna try and start it again.
Other people been having like crashes.
And I was doing so well too. I had like maybe 8 kills.
I was on a 10 kill streak, and one more kill when I had a support heli.
Oh.
Yeah. Very.
Connecting to online services.
Oh yeah, here we go. Was about to jump onto the Modern Warfare beta, but after 4 games of ground war and 4 blue screens, I gave up. So we're not the only ones. Except that person, like, every game had a blue screen. That sucks.
Oh. I just need my other game, to give me something that I need before the time runs out. Otherwise, I spent $10 for nothing. Thor, come here.
Well, while we're connecting to the online servers, if you're new around here and want to see more stuff like this, especially Modern Warfare when it does come out on release day, and especially the campaign when it does come out on day 1, I will be live streaming. Then go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below and the bell icon or anything so they don't miss any future videos or live streams on the game when it does come out. And if you're over on Twitch and don't want to miss a future live stream for Modern Warfare, then go ahead and hit the follow button and turn on notifications so you don't miss it. Edgar's on?
Yeah.
We might have to, are you in the game right now? Or is it still connecting? Are you in the game right now, or is it still connecting?
I'm in the game.
I might have to restart the PlayStation.
Ew.
Yeah, it's not connecting.
Alright.
Yeah, if it doesn't connect this next time, I'll restart and re-invite.
Alright.
Yeah, alright, I'm gonna restart real quick.
Okay.
Man, that really just screwed up everything, huh? Is there popping going on? There's no popping going on. Yeah, that just screwed up everything. Yeah, I also forgot to mention, while doing that, I forgot to put this little thing up for you guys to remember what the subscribe and the bell icon looks like and what happens when you click on it. But also, I will be live streaming on the 23rd because that is when DLC 4 comes out, the last DLC of the Aether Stories, Tag der Toten, along with a new perk. Just a whole bunch of sadness that it's ending this game. Yeah. But I will be live streaming that day for a couple of hours, just seeing the map and playing through it. Not really searching for the Easter egg hunt. I'm gonna let all the other people go for it. The actual good hunters go for it. But yeah, gonna see it out. See if I can't find things like pack punch and all that. Back in. Oh.
You know, I'm gonna try and get Eddie to join with us too. But he's gonna finish eating and then do dishes and all that.
Let me. Let me.
Come on, person. Whoa. Whoa. Press the invert colors on accessibility in the quick menu.
Oh, I've already done that.
Whoa.
It's.
Enable text to speech.
Yeah, when you hover over something, it talks to you.
Oh god. Yeah, no, it's annoying. Nope, nope. Oh god, my bladder is killing me. I'll be back again.
All right. I really hope I'm able to log in. I really hope it's not like gotta end it early again because I can't get into the damn game. Oh, come on. Come on. Come on. If I can't play, can't get in, I'm gonna have to end it because, boy, nothing I can do about it. Oh, hold on, I have an idea. I'm going to be right back. Oh. Login. This sucks. I was thinking that my mom was downloading something or updating something to make it internet run slower or anything, but yeah, we're probably gonna have to end it. Actually, I'm gonna try one more thing. I'm gonna restart the PlayStation, go into the game before I create a party, and then create a party. See if that goes in a roundabout way of, you know, somehow making it work. Hope. I hope. Alright, let's hope this works. If not, I'll have to end the stream. Stream again tomorrow. And then finally, 23rd. Final DLC. God damn, I can't believe it's already the end. Like, not ready for it to end, man. Not ready. Not ready, man. Not. But yeah, one more time, if you're just tuning in or, you know, for some reason skip to the end, or on the VOD, it skipped the part where I talked about my latest video. I have a video up on how to get the brand new Blaze Phase perk inside of Black Ops 4 Zombies right now. You don't need to get the DLC. You don't need to. I mean, it's not even out, so you shouldn't be able to get it, but you can get it just by one simple trick. So if you want to go ahead and try out the new perk and test it out and see how good it is, then go ahead and check out my latest video on it. It will be how to use the Blaze Phase perk early in Ops 4 Zombie. 4 DLC is even out. Isn't that insane? Crazy. Alright, come on. Come on. Oh. Oh. Yes. Okay. Got it, got it, got it, got it, got it. Re-inviting. That is so good. Come on. Come on. Gonna go.
Alright.
Hopefully now everything will work fine.
Hopefully.
Sorry, I had to go get some hot dogs.
Oh, good. I decided to restart the game again, or the restart PlayStation again, and not create a party before I go in,
and it worked this time.
Oh, okay. Sweet. I made 3
Yes.
hot dogs.
Ooh.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Mhm. Mhm.
They're so good.
Yes.
Yes.
If I could live off of one food, it'd be hot dogs.
Yes.
Yes.
But it
But
have
it
to
have
be
to
a
be a
variety of
variety
hot dogs, like
hot,
regular
regular
hot
hot
dogs,
dogs,
hot
hot
dog
dog
wrapped in
wrapped in
crescent
crescent
roll,
rolls,
Mhm.
hot dogs
with
with
cheese in the middle.
And hot dogs with jalapeno cheese in the middle. Yeah.
nah.
Nah.
What?
just nah.
What about bratwurst? Like brats?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
fine.
fine.
I like
I like
this.
this.
Mhm.
That's
That's good.
Especially the jalapeno kind.
Yes.
Yes. Sure.
I don't like spicy food.
Depends on what's spicy.
spicy.
Hold on. Like it'll burn your ass the next day, kind of spicy.
No.
No.
Not that
That's
spicy.
my kind of spicy. My kind of spicy.
I
I
just
just
spawned inside of a person.
person.
Capture objectives and
I
kill your
was
enemies.
inside you!
I'm not like
Oh god.
it. I
I
almost
almost died.
Jumped
I
off the edge
and
and
almost died.
Good job. That's all I gotta say. Good job.
Yep.
I know.
Captured Alpha.
Someone already got
Only I
Charlie.
would be
could
bad,
be bad
enough to jump off the edge and immediately die.
Hostiles are taking Delta.
back on the Delta.
Securing Bravo. We've lost Delta.
There are tanks under
under
me.
Bravo secure. Setting charge. Enemy UAV overhead. We're in the lead. Assist your team at Charlie. You've lost the lead, soldier. Reloading. Reloading.
Oh my god, I'm so glad they lived.
Jesus.
Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy chopper gunner on approach.
They already have a chopper gunner. Already. This guy's going 12 and 1.
Oh.
Friendly IAV dropping in. Enemy cruise missile incoming. Take cover.
I can't even find anyone
getting
kills.
kills. Like,
How the hell is this guy going 12 and 1?
Enemy UAV overhead.
Oh, 17 and 1 now.
Enemy Wilson deployed.
Yep.
yep.
He has a
He has
wolf
a wolf now.
I want to kill him off the street, but I don't know right now. Oh my god, I just
UAV
one-shot this guy with
on
Eagle.
flyover. Friendly UAV overhead. Hostiles at Charlie, go. You're needed at Bravo. Wilson down.
Oh god.
I
I
am
am
having
having
the
the
biggest
biggest lag
Allied
spikes
cruise
ever.
missile away.
Jeez.
Enemy cruise missile incoming.
The world's are too long for me, like what the fuck?
You're needed at sea.
Really?
Friendly UAV.
You're gonna fucking run around corners and just sit there waiting with a shotgun. Come on, man. That's a big dick move.
Oh my god.
Flash out.
That was cute.
Oh my god, there's a guy behind me?
Work down. Stand by. Friendly UAV overhead. This is Jaguar 3-0. Enemy cruise missile incoming. Take cover. Friendly IAV dropping in. Enemy precision airstrike. Take cover. Allied cruise missile away. Be advised, UAV is being reviewed. RTB for resupply.
Come on, dude, peek around the corner. No,
No.
Yeah.
He's dead.
Friendly UAV overhead.
That's cool as well.
Needed at B.
The hell?
How
How
is this guy
underneath me when I'm on the lowest
floor?
Friendly IAV dropping in. Hostiles at Bravo. Friendly UAV overhead.
I think there might be people on the ground.
Friendly precision airstrike inbound.
Really?
Yeah. I think that's why the guy is going 27 and 3. Because he's underground.
Friendly UAV overhead. Losing A. Enemy UAV. Allied cruise missile away. Got a UAV on station.
Okay. OT on res. OT on res. That's the guy that we need to know.
Maybe he's just naturally good.
I mean, that could be a 2, but they're...
Enemy.
I mean,
Enemy
the
UAV.
thing to be glitched out.
Enemy chopper
The
gunner on
blips
approach.
to be glitched out, not showing the correct position. Possibly do that.
Friendly UAV overhead.
Where is he?
I don't know.
Enemy UAV overhead. This is Jaguar 3-0. Solid copy. Enemy precision airstrike. Take cover. We've got a UAV on station. Ready for flyover. UAV down. Friendly UAV overhead. Enemy cruise missile. Enemy precision airstrike. Take cover. This is Jaguar 3-0. Solid copy. Enemy UAV
I don't
UAV
know
overhead.
any of these guys are.
Securing Delta. Be advised, UAV is visible. Be advised, friendly precision. Friendly UAV overhead.
And that was a claymore. I literally saw it and backed away and it still killed
We
me.
captured Delta. We're halfway there. Keep fighting.
So I'd say stopping power isn't very good. You run out of ammo very easy with it, and it doesn't deal that much more damage.
Assist your team at aim.
Fucking kidding me. This guy pulls out a sniper to try and snipe me, and then misses, pulls out a Odin. Are you? I just spawned directly in front of an enemy and killed me. Like directly in front of him. Didn't even have a chance to move.
Friendly UAV overhead. Enemy chopper gunner on approach. Friendly UAV overhead. Securing Alpha. Securing Alpha. Be advised, enemy UAV overhead. Friendly UAV overhead.
Damn it! Literally everybody is walking by the enemy. The fuck?
Enemy cruise missile incoming. We're holding Alpha. Hostiles have echo. Enemy counter UAV online. Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy cruise missile incoming. Take cover. Hostiles at Delta. Go. Hostiles at Delta, go! Reloading! Enemy precision airstrike, take cover! We've lost Delta. Need
Look
backup
at
at
that.
Alpha.
Look at that fucking
Enemy
thing
UAV
right
overhead.
there.
I don't know where anybody is.
Allied cruise missile away. Enemy counter UAV online. Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy personal radar in the air. We've got a UAV on station, ready for flyover. Setting Claymore.
Wow, I did not see that
Enemy
guy.
UAV overhead.
Stairs.
Friendly UAV overhead. You're
Wait,
next.
say that again?
Friendly IAV.
Guy on the
Cruise
stairs.
missile incoming. Take
Guy.
We're
No,
taking
together.
fire.
Talk out. There was a guy.
He's over by C.
Check your damn fire! Enemy UAV online.
Oh my god.
What?
There was a guy camping up above. Are you actually kidding me?
Enemy personal radar in the air. Be advised, friendly precision, friendly UAV overhead.
guy
guy
is
is
that
that
big
big
of
of
a...
Wait.
Wait.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Oh, what?
Friendly IAV dropping in.
Dude, how the fuck?
Enemy UAV overhead. We're taking Echo. Friendly UAV overhead. Hostiles are taking Delta.
God damn it.
You
Literally can't avoid that when it's just fucking around the corner and you see it.
Enemy personal radar in the air.
Yeah, sure. That's fucking
first
first
spawn.
spawn.
Enemy
Thanks,
UAV
Dane.
overhead. We've lost Delta. Friendly IAV dropping in. This is Jaguar 3-0. Enemy counter
Game
UAV.
once again
Once again,
spawn
spawn
being in front of two enemies.
Allied cruise missile away. Enemy UAV overhead. Be advised, UAV is being
Bitch.
Friendly UAV overhead.
And of course, I get killed even.
even though I shot
Enemy
First-
cruise missile incoming. Take cover.
Ready
ready
to
to
die.
die.
I'm
I'm
dead.
dead.
Hostiles at Bravo, go.
That was a fucking kill.
Flash.
Cruise missile incoming. You've lost the lead, soldier.
I'm gonna
Die
die
from
from
these
these
grenade
grenade
spams.
spams.
Securing Charlie. Enemy UAV overhead. You've lost the lead, soldier. Friendly IAV dropping.
Ah.
Oh my god.
We're on Delta, stand by. Got a UAV on station. Enemy chopper gunner on approach. Cruise missile, go for launch. Enemy UAV overhead. You're needed a thing.
No, the guy one
shot
shot with the
with
Mark II.
Enemy precision airstrike, take cover. Friendly IAV dropping in. We're falling tight, take through. Be advised, UAV is bingo fuel. RTV for resupply.
God damn it.
Enemy counter UAV on
Oh my god, they're all in there. They all spawned on there.
We're in the lead.
Like every single one of them spawned in there.
We're losing ground, step it up.
I had 30
30
kills.
kills.
By 1 point. By 1 point.
Oh my god, they must be so mad. Look at this.
That
That
was last kill
with the guy on the roof.
I call bullshit.
Oh
my
my
god,
god,
this guy had 59 kills and 20 deaths.
What?
59 kills.
Oh my god.
I
I am
am
getting
getting
rid
rid
of
of
stopping rounds.
These players. offering these sacrifices to come into our party. I'm gonna use the restroom.
Alright.
2 more levels away from getting the AUG.
Nice. I'm gonna get rid of this and try out the Mark II. I haven't tried out the EVR. I don't know how I feel about playing with the Mark II. There's a natural RPG right there. Yeah, look at that.
Get drafted. What it is?
Who's this Ice Dragon's alt?
It's a
What?
random. Duh.
It's his other accounts.
Is it a big titty goth girl?
It might be.
I was drinking.
Oh my god.
You already play some ground war?
Yeah.
Ground War is okay.
Battlefield.
Yes.
Yeah, that fucking hurt.
Basically.
We just received an invitation from Edgar. Should I deny it?
I don't know.
Wait, who's joining who?
Oh, shit. Edgar's in the party.
Yeah, what
party
host?
host? Who's gonna be host?
You're
I don't know.
Who? Alright, who would say they have the most stable internet connection?
Edgar.
Me.
Okay, let's join Edgar.
Alright, well, see you guys on the flip side.
Hell yeah.
What level are you, Dragon?
24.
20, huh? Wow.
I know.
I am 17. That's my mental age, but my real age. So, Eddie, how's it been? Long time no talk.
I've been good. I haven't even, before I even started playing, I think yesterday, I hadn't gotten online for like a week.
No, like to me, you haven't been on for a year.
Oh yeah, I
And
also hide offline.
Oh, yeah, you do what I do, so like, I see how it is. You don't want anyone knowing.
Yes.
Nobody
wants to know when you're online.
Farmer's daughter.
What?
Is that a person's name?
Yo,
Oh my god, it is.
I fell in love with the farmer's daughter.
I'm gonna try the M14. Or the EBR 14.
I'm trying the Mark II. Seeing how good it is. I haven't used the EVR yet.
So how's your experience so far with this game?
When I first came on, I didn't even know that I didn't have my LAN cable in. So I was lagging around. I was like, what the hell? This shit is trash.
Oh my god.
And then I saw that my LAN wasn't connected, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, my LAN is always connected, because otherwise my Wi-Fi would just have me lag out of the game every time.
My
LAN is never connected.
And I'm just fine.
Oh. Well, look at you.
I know, it's incredible.
I used to have my PlayStation right next to the router.
Yeah, my router is across the house from me. like on the complete other side.
Round
Yeah,
1.
it's in the living room.
So I'd have to have like a 6-foot Ethernet cable.
Am I gonna get beat to this helicopter? Yep. No, never mind, I'm the driver. Let me just crash.
Captured Echo.
See, now what needs to happen?
Maintain pressure.
Oh my god.
You need
lag.
to win.
Lag.
We're taking Delta.
That's the goal, is we need to win.
Lag.
I've had a lot of other people online misinterpret the goal and think that it's not winning that we need. It's actually losing, but
Charlie.
I just
shit.
one-shot headshotted with the Mark II.
Oh my god, I'm gonna die.
Enemy personal radar
I'm
overhead.
just kidding, I was still.
Captured Charlie.
Oh!
Yes. Nice.
I am almost dead.
I've survived 2 grenades.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Oh, Barker, you're using EOD.
Oh my god.
Allied UAV overhead.
I cannot wait till I get attachments for the Mark II.
So far, I'm terrible at the M14. Or the, I keep calling it M14, it's basically an M14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Need backup at Delta.
The Mark II is a one-shot headshot, but anywhere below the head, it's not even a one-shot. I think it's like a 2 or 3 shot.
Enemy UAV overhead.
There's a person. Get over here.
Ninja.
Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy has Delta.
Oh my god. The EVR has some recoil to it.
Allied
Jeez.
IAV. Enemy personal radar overhead.
I picked up your weapon. It's got some recoil. God damn.
Watch out on the opposite side of C.
That guy just like, holy crap. All out on
Oh shit.
I was low on health. That sucks. That sucks.
Oh,
Are they just all across the way then?
Allied UAV overhead. Enemy has Echo.
literally
The enemy
don't
has
have
the
any
lead.
other outposts that we have. Ah!
I was playing.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Legit cannot kill this guy.
We're taking Delta. Enemy personal radar overhead. Enemy UAV overhead.
Wow, this is in a corner. Oh my god.
Enemy personal radar overhead. Enemy UAV overhead.
Save me.
Allied UAV overhead.
Wasn't expecting that guy to come around the corner so quick. Oh, cool. I got a hit marker. Oh, man.
Oh shit, I'm blind.
Now the real question is,
Allied IAV.
why are we suffering with these weapons?
Enemy VTOL in the AO.
I don't know.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Oh god. I laughed at you getting shot like that, and then I died like that.
We lost Delta. Enemy precision Requesting airstrike. Get down.
Fuck! Blew up.
How do we get on the roof?
Enemy cruise missile. Take cover.
Me.
Ah, use you.
Overhead. Enemy overhead.
How do you feel being used?
Oh, sweet. I spawned directly in enemy fire.
Ah!
Just love when that happens.
Enemy personal radar overhead.
Want to die, but
Enemy cruise missile. Take cover. Allied cruise missile
Jesus
launched.
Christ.
You missed.
Securing Echo. Allied UAV overhead.
My missile lag.
Launched. Enemy UAV overhead.
Oh, that was a guy? Oh my god. I'm gonna grab my sniper.
Ripple.
Your team is at sea.
Taking Gaza.
Taking Delta.
oh god.
Away from me, helicopter.
Enemy VTOL in the AO.
They got C. There was like 5 of them on C.
Enemy personal. Enemy UAV overhead. Allied UAV overhead. We're holding Delta.
Oh my god.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Can I edit this button?
Securing Bravo.
They don't like anything on it. No. Not even
I just saw an ATV go across the screen. Away
I
from me.
destroyed that.
Nice.
Friendly VTOL on station for over. We're taking Bravo. Enemy
There-
personal radar overhead.
Is there a guy on the quarry?
Allied cruise missile launched. Reloading.
What?
Side of the
Enemy
quarry.
UAV overhead.
Gonna snipe.
They have reached the halfway point.
That might be a guy.
Allied UAV overhead. We're holding Bravo.
Where's this fella? Where you going? Well, we can take
Enemy
it.
personal radar overhead. Allied UAV overhead.
Alright, I am lagging. Oh, hell of that.
Why are you lagging?
We're on Alpha. Stand by.
How the fuck are they behind me?
Oh my god.
Alpha.
I don't know where I'm shot at from.
Jeez, oh jeez, oh jeez.
I think the breacher device is a really good barrel.
Enemies
Is
taking
it?
Echo.
Yeah. Just run
I
up
think
and
I've had
spam
enough
people.
experience to get any attachment fiber on my site.
Enemy has Echo.
Oh my god. Like every, I literally saw like the entire team run across the city.
Enemies taking Delta. Enemy personal radar overhead. Securing Charlie.
Enemies on the
We're taking
second floor of A.
Back up at
How
Bravo.
the fuck did you know I was
Allied
coming?
cruise missile
Alright,
launched.
I'm heading over there.
Can you run people over?
Stand by.
Yes, can. You can also crush people with the helicopter.
Got Charlie.
Yeah, I just found that out.
Allied UAV
Yeah,
overhead.
literally first match I
Allied
played.
UAV dropping in. We're holding Echo.
I got crushed by the helicopter.
We lost Bravo.
Oh,
Wait, who just blew up?
See people blow up with the flame is really funny.
There's a guy camping in a window outside of the building A. Like he's not even inside.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Got him.
Allied UAV
Whoops.
overhead. We're taking
I was
Delta.
lagging.
Enemy cruise missile. Enemy UAV
What
overhead.
kind of little place is this?
Yo, that's
Delta.
me.
Allied IAV dropping in.
There's like 3 coming
Allied
in,
UAV
careful.
overhead. UAV is ready for flyover.
I just like two people in their
in their
spawn.
spawn.
Missile ready to launch.
Just sitting
Sitting
there.
They were there.
Oh my god. Did you really just do that?
Yeah.
There's so many
Enemy UAV
claim
overhead.
raids.
Enemy cruise missile
Oh,
take cover.
and I got sniped by the guy that respawned
there.
Hey, are you guys gonna
Allied
jump
cruise
in?
missile launched. Losing Charlie.
Hey, I got someone with the thing.
Allied UAV overhead. Enemy personal radar overhead.
Wait, y'all think they're like all the way on the roof?
Oh my god, man,
man,
another guy
guy
just
just
traded. Sniping each other, we traded.
Overhead. We lost Charlie.
On the roof? Maybe it's where I landed at the beginning of the match, Eddie.
Need backup on Delta.
Can't tell that's a flare. Like,
This is Falcon Control. Good copy. UAV beginning flight. Enemy UAV overhead.
they're trying to come up.
Allied cruise missile launched. Enemy has Delta.
I have a video to show you.
Starting
guys.
green flight. Losing A. Enemy personal radar overhead.
What?
Are they still spawning back there?
That's your base.
We're
Why is that
taking
dead
Delta.
body moving?
It wants
It
to
wants
be
to
alive, man.
Why are you running?
Enemy
Got him.
UAV overhead. Enemy personal radar overhead.
They're trying to go through to A.
Enemy cruise missile, take cover.
Sniper sounds satisfying.
Enemy UAV overhead.
I'm sorry.
Allied UAV overhead. Enemy UAV overhead. Falcon Control.
I guess that's what killed him.
Yeah, I really
Enemy
blew up.
UAV overhead.
Oh
Securing
shit, I'm
B.
on the roof.
Enemy UAV overhead. Changing back. Allied UAV.
I think they might be coming up.
Allied IAV dropping in. Enemy personal radar overhead.
I don't think I'm almost positive they are.
Allied UAV overhead.
We got parachutes, right?
Securing B.
Yeah.
We're taking
I got blown up.
Oh, as soon as I spawn, I get killed. That's fucking amazing.
Yeah. You have to jump in order to pull it out in the air.
enemy at Alpha. Go.
Yep.
We're holding Delta. Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy personal radar overhead. We're holding Bravo.
I just want to say, how are we losing when we have all of cap except C?
I don't know.
Right? We've had it for a while too.
Yeah.
You're needed at A.
Wait, what?
We're losing and we have all of the domination points capped except
Enemy
C.
personal radar
Now
over.
A.
Allied cruise missile launched. Enemy has Alpha.
Yeah, they're capped.
Friendly VTOL on station for overwatch.
We need to shoot down the chopper.
You're needed at B. Airstrike, get down. Lost Bravo. Enemy at Delta, go. Enemy cruise missile, take cover.
Oh god, we have all points.
Fuck! Jesus Christ, that was scary. This guy just got a triple kill with a grenade. Kill feed.
I'm not going in there yet.
They're killing us. Pick yourself up. Securing C. We're taking Delta.
Lost.
Cruise missile, take cover.
Wait, how did they get more points quicker?
Yeah.
Cruise missile
We
launched.
literally had all of them capped for like half of the game.
They have a hack.
And then they still had all of the
They
points
hit
going up as if they had all of them still on their side.
What the fuck going on? Hey, we have Brazzers on our team.
Oh.
That's 64 kills, really?
I have 6. That's it. Big on our side.
I had a solid game.
I had 17 kills.
Well, look at you.
Yeah.
I know it's horrible.
Can't be as bad as mine.
I really
need to work on
that.
the K2.
No, I'm gonna go look at that video and show you what I saw on it. Capture gallery.
How's the grip in this game?
Groups
Well,
are excellent.
Yeah.
Improve your ADS speed.
They
Improve ADS
speed.
Improve recoil control. But they decrease
movement speed because they had extra weight. Overall, it's good.
I am once again inside someone.
Round. Capture objectives and kill your enemies.
So this.
Reloading.
I like this double tap screen.
Reloading.
Yeah, double tap
sprint is really good.
Securing Alpha.
Especially for this.
But wait till
Long
the end of the
running.
video, though. Like, it's,
Alpha secure.
Yeah, there goes the helicopter.
Hostiles are taking Delta.
course there's
Securing
someone
C.
already on top of that building.
Hostiles at Delta.
I'm on C.
Grenade out. Reloading. We're holding Charlie.
At the fucking door.
Bravo.
How the hell?
Grenade out. Need backup. Bravo. Check the fire.
Oh my god, I just one shot that dude. Oh my god. These guys are bad.
UAV overhead. Securing Echo. Friendly IAV dropping in. We've got a UAV on station. Enemy UAV overhead. We're holding Echo.
Dude,
how is that not hitting him?
Setting Claymore. Grenade out.
This is Jaguar 3. Solid copy. UAV beginning flyover.
Hostiles at Echo, go! Friendly IAV dropping in. Allied cruise missile away.
UAV is bingo fuel.
Hostiles taking
Sure.
Alpha.
uh-oh.
Cruise
Oh my
missile
god,
away.
my game froze for a moment. I thought I was dead.
We've lost
Well, in
Alpha.
that moment I did die. Oh my lordy Jesus. I'm literally 0 and 4 right now.
Oh dude.
Get away from me.
Yeah. We're taking Bravo. Allied cruise missile incoming. Hostiles at Echo, go! Alpha secure. Friendly UAV overhead. Reloading. Taking fire. Friendly UAV overhead. Enemy UAV overhead.
Nice, we kill each other.
Hostiles at Echo.
That is so sad.
Oh, where the fuck did I get so many points from?
Change your mags.
What is with this stat feed?
Enemy UAV
It's just
overhead.
spamming.
Jeez.
Oh, I have to choose a place where I spawn.
Oh my god. I just and then I get shot
from behind.
There's someone in here.
Yep.
Friendly IAV. Friendly UAV overhead.
How the fucking fuck?
Friendly VTOL on station for
I
Overwatch.
am going to kill this game's creator.
Oh my god.
Of course,
I injured
they
him.
turn around.
Man, the Mark
Do
II.
you hate it when that happens?
Stop.
As soon as you turn around,
Allied cruise missile away.
Yes. I do. That's happened to me like multiple times every game.
Incoming, take cover.
all dead.
You've lost Alpha. Friendly UAV overhead.
Edgar! Blind.
Enemy UAV overhead. Friendly IAV dropping
And
in.
then I swear if they wait till I set something down to come in.
Yep.
Enemy UAV overhead. Friendly UAV overhead.
That is not a way to go.
How about that?
Would have
Thought
thought
that was not a way to go.
There's a guy in the staircase.
Which one?
The one that did that.
Got him.
We're holding Alpha.
Oh my god, and the guy was sitting still, my bullet went right through him. Didn't even hit him. That's cool.
Enemy friendly UAV overhead. Enemy's halfway there. Step it up. Enemy missile incoming. Take cover. Work Nelson, stand by. Enemy UAV overhead.
Jesus guy. It's impossible to kill him. The damn Mark II.
We captured Delta. Enemy UAV overhead.
Rip.
What?
This guy is head glitching on top of the staircase.
Hello. Enemy UAV overhead.
And now he's back in mid.
Dude,
Dude, this guy is like impossible to kill. He's just fucking camping like every other corner.
Friendly IAV dropping in. We
Oh.
lost Alpha. Enemy first. Enemy cruise missile incoming. Take cover. Friendly IAV dropping in.
Okay.
Of course, as soon as I pick something up. Of course! I'm here. I'm over here sitting with 4 and 10. Don't
Edgar!
worry.
Securing Echo.
Yeah, sorry, I was editing my gun class.
I was scratching my leg.
Captured Echo.
Ah, they're all in there. Oh my god. Okay. Where I died.
Hostiles are taking Echo.
Dude, that guy is one bursting me with the FOSS.
Lost Echo.
Oh my god.
We're on Alpha. Enemy cruise missile incoming. Take cover.
I flashed him.
Enemy UAV overhead.
That's naughty.
Allied
Oh,
cruise
there's
missile away.
so many.
There's still someone in there. He was camping in the corner.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Need a lot of windows.
Friendly UAV overhead.
There's still people spawning there.
Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy personal radar in the air.
You're all in combat.
What?
Yeah, apparently a dude spawned behind all of us and just mowed us down with LMG.
Oh my god.
Friendly
How could you
UAV
let that
overhead.
happen?
Oh my god.
They are just locking down B. Jesus Christ.
Securing Echo. Friendly AAV dropping in. We're on Bravo. Stand by. Enemy precision airstrike. Take. Friendly UAV overhead. Enemy VTOL with the AR.
Oh my god, that was
so good.
God. Oh my god. Edgar, I spawned you and got shot in the back.
UAV overhead.
This is Jaguar 3. UAV beginning flyover.
Sending shots.
Yep, there he is.
Enemy UAV.
Cool.
Be advised, UAV is being RTB for resupply.
Allied cruise missile away.
Are you
joking?
Cruise missile. Enemy UAV overhead.
Just catch on fire.
Did you?
Need backup. Still.
That guy got it.
We've lost Delta. Friendly UAV overhead. Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy VTOL in the AR. Cruise missile. Go for it. Friendly IAV. Drop it. Friendly UAV overhead. Securing out. Friendly VTOL on station. We're overhead. Enemy chopper gunner on approach.
Jaguar 3. Solid copy.
We're falling behind.
7 and fucking
Got out.
19.
Enemy personal radar in the air.
How the fuck did I die?
Bravo.
One of the vehicles
Be
is shooting
advised,
into
UAV
the
is
building.
bingo fuel.
Uh,
RTB for
I
resupply.
literally didn't see anything exploding, I just died. There was no powerful effects
Enemy
on
UAV
that.
overhead.
Jaguar 2-0. Missile away.
Where are they all coming from? Like, this is
Everywhere. That's where they're coming from. Everywhere.
That's it. We've lost the objective.
Off target. No KIA.
Well, that sucked. Wow, what an epic kill cam.
I love how no one notices an enemy shooting at the team.
That's how it's been the entire day with the teammates. Nobody knows that they're getting shot at.
$5,000 XP. What's this heavy hitter?
it's
Like,
like, you know,
increases,
increases more damage to your melee while using that weapon.
Wait, Eddie, what version did you get of the Modern Warfare?
I haven't even purchased it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was gonna play the beta just to make up my mind on it.
And what have you made up so far?
I'll get the standard version.
I have, I'm getting the, not, is it the hardened version that's $100?
What does it even come with? I'm in someone's eyes!
I'm inside someone.
Your head.
Capture objective.
I remember.
I was inside you, Eddie!
Yeah, I'm getting the 9 goggles.
Hey, I made it.
Got Echo.
I got run over by a tank.
Command is ours. Maintain pressure. Assist your team at travel.
I hit a building while parachuting and it died.
Yep.
Holding Delta.
Oh, there are tanks right
We're
there.
on Charlie. Stand by.
2 of them pulled up. I tried to shoot.
We lost Bravo.
Oh shit, I only have 1 launch. I mean, right now.
Enemies taking Charlie.
Reloading.
Back to Charlie.
There's a guy on the cliff side.
Above you.
We lost Charlie.
Got him. The guy going on the road.
Got him.
Yeah, he's shooting at me.
There's another guy?
They're losing
Oh, there's
ground.
more. There's like
There's
3 of
two.
them.
Enemy cruise missile. Take cover.
Or I saw 2.
Ground control. Crush them. Enemy UAV overhead. Reloading.
Oh my
God.
Oh
god.
shit.
Oh my god.
Reloading. UAV is ready for flyover.
Oh,
Go.
Okay.
Allied IAV dropping in. This is Falcon 3-0. Good copy. We're on Charlie. Stand by. Enemies taking Delta.
Of course, shotgun. What do you know?
Securing Alpha.
Edgar,
Edgar,
there's a guy.
Enemy has
coming
Delta.
here, for sure.
UAV is out of fuel. Returning to resupply. Enemy cruise missile. Take cover. We're holding Alpha.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
yeah.
really.
UAV overhead. Friendly VTOL on
I can't
station.
just sit there.
We're taking Bravo.
It hurts my brain to just sit
Allied
there.
UAV overhead.
Damn it, of course that guy had the pressure log on.
Allied UAV overhead.
Impossible to shoot.
Got Bravo. Enemy personal radar overhead.
Ooh, they're
They're
spawning
spawning
behind.
behind us.
Allied support kilo inbound. Enemy UAV overhead.
That guy must feel bad. I just out-sniped the dude sniping with the Mark II.
Wait, I literally phased through my shield.
Well, congratulations. Tank inbound at A.
Allied IAV dropping in.
Oh my god, can this person move the fuck out of the way?
Damn it.
Securing Charlie.
So you better run away.
We're out dropping nearby. Allied UAV overhead. Allied precision airstrike incoming. Beware. Allied UAV overhead. We captured Charlie. You're needed at Bravo.
Oh my god, of course. He literally came out as soon as I ran by. Fuck
There's
me.
so many people spawning by A.
Take cover.
Only have
Allied
submachine
UAV
gun.
overhead.
I think we need
UAV
to
overhead.
try and capture B.
Enemy UAV overhead. Allied missile launched. Allied UAV overhead. Enemy precision airstrike. Allied UAV overhead. UAV is ready for flyover.
What?
Enemy UAV overhead.
Yeah, man.
Allied gunship in the area. Engaging target.
What the fuck? I just shot this guy and then meleeed him and it didn't connect to him.
Allied
Literally
UAV
was right behind him and it didn't connect and he turned around and one-shot me. Oh, fuck you, dude.
Enemy taking Echo.
I'm lagging so
Securing
bad.
Delta.
Yeah, so am I. I think it's the game.
We lost Bravo.
I think it's just the game. To be honest.
Holding Delta. Allied IAV dropping in. Allied cruise missile launched. Falcon fuel. We've got it. Assist your team at
Everybody's shooting everybody. Oh god. Ooh, what gun is this?
Lost Alpha. We're halfway there. Keep going. No loss. Allied. Losing Charlie. Allied cruise missile launched. Allied UAV overhead.
Oh my god. There's like four people right next to B. Oh, well, now there's more.
Someone just fell off the roof.
I saw that.
Enemy precision airstrike. Get down.
Up above Edgar on the catwalk. Oh no. Like everywhere.
Yo, yo.
Losing C.
Oh shit. Okay.
Enemy UAV overhead.
I mean, at least we're winning.
Yeah.
I broke his
Allied
nose.
UAV. Enemy UAV overhead.
Oh my god, I fucking blinded him.
Remember, there's a perk that can reduce the effect. It's like a faster fall off effect.
Allied UAV over. Enemy personal radar overhead. Enemy. Take cover.
Oh my god, I'm so bad. God damn.
Hey, Razor's is on our team again.
Oh my god, I don't want to squad
too.
Allied cruise missile
32
launched.
and 2.
Like,
Damn.
I froze.
Allied UAV overhead.
I'm 3 and 12.
I'm 21 and 13.
Allied precision airstrike incoming. Beware. Allied IAV dropping in. Cruise missile. Take cover.
There's a gold kill.
Enemy UAV overhead. Allied UAV overhead.
Oh my god, I almost died.
I have no idea how to get to people.
Enemy
Just
UAV
run at
overhead.
them. That's how.
Allied UAV overhead. Allied precision airstrike incoming. Beware. Enemy UAV overhead.
Oh, hello, thank you.
Of course I had to fucking reload! I'm starting to
Friendly
really hate
VTOL on
this.
station for Overwatch. Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy UAV overhead.
Are you kidding me? I turned around and shot and it dealt no damage. Oh, I hate that so much.
Allied UAV overhead. Allied IAV dropping in.
Hi. I literally was getting shot at like 5 different angles.
Oh my god, I need the extended clip or some shit. I need to put that in.
It is in. Let's unlock it.
How come I don't have it?
Bro, I have.
Are you fucking? I'm about ready to just fucking rage quit. This is stupid. This is legit stupid.
Allied cruise missile launched.
Poor soul.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Get cocaine! Killed me.
Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy
Oh shit!
Enemy UAV overhead. UAV is ready for flyover. Cruise missile ready to launch. Allied UAV overhead. Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy chopper gunner on approach. Enemy taking Delta.
Oh, fuck you, dude.
Keep hitting them. We have this. Enemy cruise missile. Take cover.
Oh my god,
I didn't realize all of them were there.
Enemy has Delta.
Oh, thanks for spawning me inside with it, dude. Jesus Christ. Wow.
That was the most ridiculous match I've ever been in.
Enemy cruise missile. Take
Yeah.
cover.
Jack Nipples, 819.
Razor went 41 and 5. Oh, that's why I went 41 and 5, because he was just sitting up top sniping.
No, he was like up front as well.
I wasn't really paying attention to where it was.
Did I land on you? I'm sorry, buddy. No, when I went to say that I needed extended freaking mags, I launched back and landed on my cat on accident.
Oh. Poor cat.
Right? Thank God.
Wait, let's switch it up from gun war. It's an Edgar host.
Yep.
I'll be right back.
We're doing a different game mode. Alright, join Edgar though.
I'm trying. I'm trying, man. The invitation can no longer be used. Ow. What are we doing? Gunfight? Or...
Nah, just do quick play. Wait, how many of the maps do they have available?
Ow.
There are not very many.
What
Aren't
are
there
we
like
playing?
3?
Yeah. For gunfight, I think it's also 3. There's 6 available, but there's only 3 available to play right now.
I like headquarters in this game.
Like how the what?
Headquarters.
Yeah, headquarters is fun.
I haven't really played Headquarters that much.
That
Acne. The best map ever.
Poo poo pee pee. Alright.
The monkey. Boo boo, pee pee.
Incredible name.
Is that what you're recording?
No,
No, that was a player's name.
Oh.
Another one was just dirt.
Wonder how long it took him to make up that one.
Probably a couple years.
Boyfriend, did you come? Girlfriend? Yeah, of course, babe. 6'9", you know she did.
Oh shit, it's Michael Scarn.
What?
It's from The Office.
Alright, y'all ready to die?
Got enemy inbound. Lock and load. We're in control.
Wait, where are they?
Right side. Why are they hiding?
Yeah.
There's only one dude left.
Oh,
Really?
big
What the hell?
rip.
Oh. Dang. Oh, we got more.
Finally.
Oh, to the right. I missed my first shot, so I'm killing. Damn it. I want to punch kill him.
Oh,
Dude, this guy.
whoa, okay.
Yeah, that guy. He's an interesting one.
What kind of fucking name was that?
Of course, as soon as I get off of it and stop aiming at him, then he runs out.
Personal radar in the air. Throwing grenade.
Watch out, Edgar, like, they're kind of behind you.
No way that's a guy. My God.
Enemy UAV overhead.
How the fudge? I'm 0.
Pulled ahead.
Why is it
Bitch,
not
what are you
showing?
trying to do? Do that to me?
We've got a UAV on station. Ready for flyover. Changing mag. Reloading. Enemy UAV overhead. Friendly UAV overhead.
Jeez, I'm out here doing parkour and shit.
Yeah, you basically have to do parkour to get anywhere.
Parkour.
Ow.
Like this way, bro.
Why are you running? Oh, okay.
Wow. Burst is across the.
This is Jaguar 3-0. Solid copy. UAV.
that guy's still there. Sitting behind the wall.
Radar in the air.
Hey. Cool.
Jaguar 3-0.
Wait
Moving
for
your
long.
way.
Are you serious? Do you all have the camp back there? Like, is this seriously how
Be advised, UAV is bingo. Right on target.
Got it, Megger?
We're halfway there. Keep fighting.
No, you didn't get
Friendly
him.
UAV overhead. Enemy
You
cruise
do
missile
not get him.
incoming. Take
Nope.
cover. Reloading. We've got a UAV on station. Ready? Request recon flyover.
This is Jaguar 3-0. Solid copy. UAV beginning flyover.
Reloading.
I'm dead. I'm not dead. I don't know how I'm not dead. Literally a grenade was directly next to me.
Be advised, UAV is bingo.
Enemy personal radar in the air.
Oh god, I'm lagging.
Allied cruise missile away. Enemy UAV overhead.
Are they just still spawning back there?
Of course, you were waiting for me to pop my head out.
Dude, there's a guy just sitting in their spawn. Waiting for people to
It
push.
says that I'm 3-0, even though I know that's not true.
But should be happy that you're 3-0.
Smash out. Grenade out. Friendly UAV overhead.
They keep on spotting over there.
Of shit, just sitting in the. I swear, I like ground war people better than TDM people.
Yeah, smack me in the far back corner.
Keep fighting. We got this. Enemy UAV overhead.
Now they're spawning in our spawn.
Enemy personal radar in the air.
Nice.
Hey.
Textbook. Well done.
The stopping power rounds are kind of fun to use.
Wait. Say that again? I forgot. Wait, can you say that again?
I couldn't hear you.
Stopping power rounds are overpowered.
Kinda.
Where's Ice Dragon? Where am I?
Says I'm
Says I'm
still
in the party.
Melted.
Did you leave?
He says he's left the party.
And no, it didn't leave at all. Unable to join.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm not able to
join.
It still shows him in the party though.
Okay, I'm in.
Wait.
Aha.
What should I use this game?
I keep using the M4A1. Should I use the Sniper, MK2, or the AUG? I don't know
What level do you unlock the AUG?
19.
Close.
I think we're gonna use the Mark II. I'll level that up some more and see if we can get it more powerful.
Rosnarade.
Oh shit. 10v10. 10v10 headquarters.
Oh shit.
Time to die.
Hell yeah.
Let's use it. MP7.
Headquarters.
I'm using the
Capture and defend
I'm
each
not
HQ as
carbon.
it comes online.
Carbon.
It looks so.
Move out.
Looks.
Grenade.
Throwing stun. Grenade out.
I don't know.
There's a
where-
guy upstairs. By the headquarters.
HQ is green. Get a move on.
What? It showed that he was a friendly, not an enemy, and then it switched to red. It's weird.
Reloading.
Oh.
Things
They're
are
weird
weird
in
in this game.
Enemy on the HQ. Get over there. Enemy UAV overhead.
Oh, please.
Oh,
where?
I am
thought I stuck
lagging
him.
so
Enemy has
bad.
captured the HQ. We're losing control. Enemy personal radar in the air.
Why am I lagging so fucking bad? This is ridiculous.
Oh my god, this guy's just camping upstairs next to the headquarters.
Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy cruise missile incoming. Take HQ shut down. Regroup. Almost done here.
Oh my god, that poor guy.
Oh, and then
his
his
teammate comes up.
New location ID.
Are you fucking for real? Are you one shot and I'm dead, but I put like 5,000 fucking bullets in you? I think this might be my last match tonight. I am done.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna turn it off too, because I didn't end up actually watching John Wick yesterday, and because my grandpa was asleep, so we're gonna probably watch it soon. That was a little shot right there.
Finally, my first kill.
Securing the HQ. We secured the HQ. Stay alive.
Okay, here we go.
Oh my god. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You are really laying in a bad place, so.
Okay, I shot. I pressed the shoot button and he didn't. Shoot! The dude's inside the headquarters, by the way.
Enemy UAV overhead. HQ contested.
Oh, all dead.
Except for these last two guys.
How nice.
HQ contested.
Jesus.
Shut down our HQ. HQ is down. Stand by.
Ah, man.
Okay, get ready to move.
We're not far behind them.
Yeah, honestly.
What the fuck? This guy hit like every single one of his shots and one shot all of us with Mark II. And then I get shot through the car. Hell yeah.
Really? Why do I get spawned in someone's iron sights? I'm getting killed by a camper in each fucking corner.
That's how it is in the core modes.
They're capturing the
Oh, it
HQ.
always is in the core modes. What the fuck? This guy's blinded. Oh my god, he killed us so quick by shooting our feet.
So, I didn't even go near the claymore, but it bungeed me to the fucking claymore and killed me.
Did you run out the door and it bunged you across?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's been happening to me as well. It's like if you run out the door at a certain angle, it does that. Okay, I can't with the Mark II right now. It's impossible to play. It literally needs to just full send with a auto weapon.
Enemy UAV overhead.
And of course, there's a guy camping in the far back of the map.
This is not a good map.
HQ is down. Stand by.
No, this is not a good map.
Okay, get ready to move.
Oh, fuck you,
dude.
Enemy cruise missile.
I literally keep spawning in the exact same fucking spot.
New location ID.
How is it every time I can get
Oh my
always
god.
fucking kill me no matter what?
Because for some reason, every other person that we play up against was like the best player we've ever seen.
Stand by.
And then I get shot at from I don't even know where.
HQ secured.
I'm
Hold
done.
out as long as
I'll
you
see you
can.
guys later. I'm done. This is bullshit. I'm literally done. I'll be on tomorrow definitely, but I'm done. So, I'll see you.
Alright.
Enemy on the HQ. Defend. Hold for the next wave. Enemy UAV overhead. HQ enemy trying to shut down our HQ. HQ shut down. Regroup.
Game.
Next HQ up in 10. Get ready. Check fire! Check fire!
How are we already getting shot at?
Throwing stun!
Because it's literally a perfect camping angle.
New location
They can
ID.
just sit in the window
and
shoot at us.
Enemy precision airstrike. Take. Enemy UAV overhead.
I'm dead, huh?
Oh my god, I'm literally getting shot at by multiple fucking people
as soon as I run a spawn.
This game is impossible to play in
hardcore mode.
We're at the
He almost God.
enemy precision airstrike. Take cover.
Oh, I
She
Right.
killed someone.
Enemy has captured the HQ.
Come on.
Oh my lord.
It's not gonna pop out.
Why would he pop out?
Enemy UAV overhead. Throwing stun. Less than a minute.
Oh my god, how did I miss
Move
that
it on,
jump?
window. Time to move.
Nice. Oh, fucking camper.
Enemy UAV overhead. HQ disabled. Get ready to move out. Next HQ up in 10. Get ready. Enemy cruise missile incoming. Take cover. New location ID.
Just executed the guy
UAV
who
on station.
pulled out the
cruise
Enemy
missile.
gunship inbound. Take cover. Cruise missile. Go
I'm
forward.
so
close.
This is Jaguar 3-0. Solid copy. UAV beginning flyover.
Enemy white phosphorus inbound.
Someone got a white phosphorus already?
They're capturing the HQ. Go. Enemy VTOL in the AO.
Oh my god.
Lost the HQ.
Be advised, UAV is being opened.
Literally impossible to play anything.
We've lost. These
These
guys
guys
are the sweatiest people I've ever seen
in this game.
Already.
Enemy
Yeah.
UAV overhead.
Yeah, alright, I'm gonna get off.
Learn from the loss. Come back harder.
That was a terrible match.
match.
Enemy cruise missile
Does
incoming.
white phosphorus go through the whole map?
White
White
phosphorus
phosphorus
goes
goes
over
over
that
that
map.
map, yeah.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Seems like a perk. I mean, score sheet worth running.
Kill
Kill
streak,
streak, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, there are still people complaining about the white phosphorus, saying that it should be removed.
from the game.
It's insensitive.
I know. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna get off.
Alright.
Are you gonna be on tomorrow?
Sunday? Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably. Are you ready?
Probably.
Alright. Well, then I'll talk to y'all tomorrow.
Peace.
Yeah. Alright, well, I'm gonna end off the stream here. Thank you all so much for watching live stream. In the next one, when I stream tomorrow and on Monday for the last DLC. Thank you all so much for watching. All of you, next one.